Hello everyone, my name is Algin Aris Ramos and I'm going to discuss the introduction of the Republic Act number 1319 as well as the corrupt practices of public officers. Republic Act 1319 was enacted under the police power of the state to promote morality in public service, necessarily limited in scope to officialdom. This act was enacted to deter public officials and employees from committing acts of dishonesty and improve the tone of morality in public service. What is graft? Acquisition of gain or advantage by dishonest, unfair, or sordid means, especially through the abuse of one's position or influence in politics, business, and etc. What is corruption? Dishonest or fraudulent conduct committed by those in power.
So, accepting or having any member of his family. Accept employment in a private enterprise which has pending official business with him during pendency thereof or within 1 year after its termination. So, next, the elements based on the foregoing. The following are the elements of constitute violation thereof. So, first is that the offender is a public officer. Second is that accept or any member of his family accept employment in a private enterprise which has pending officials business with his during the pendency there or within 1 year after his termination. So A is causing any undue injury to any party, including the government, or going any private party in unwarranted administrative or judicial functions through modifies negligence. This provision shall apply to officers and employees of office or government corporations charged with the grant of license or permits after conclusion. So, elements in De La Checa versus Sandigan Bayan, the Supreme Court enumerate the essential elements of Section Section 3 or R8 3019 as amended. The court held that so in a number of cases the element of these offenses have been broken down as follows. So first is that accused are public officers. Second is that said public officers committed that prohibited acts during performance of their official duties. Third is that they cause undue injury to any party, whether the government. Fourth is that injury was caused by giving unwarranted benefits advantage.
Good morning everyone, my name is Roldan Atwell and I'm gonna discuss my assigned topic in Republic Act 3019 in Section 3, which is corrupt practices of public officers. Let's go. Section 3. Corrupt practices of public officers. In addition to acts or omissions of public officers already penalized by existing law, the following shall constitute corrupt practices of any public officers are hereby declared to be unlawful. Neglecting or refusing. After due demand or request, without sufficient justification, to act within reasonable time on any matter pending before him or for the purpose of obtaining, directly or indirectly, from any person interested in a matter some pecuniary or material benefit or advantage, or for the purpose of favoring his own interests or giving undue advantage in favor of or discriminating against any another interested party. For example, naay usa ka security official, then naay nag-process of registration, then sa iyaha, then wala na gi-process kay tungod kay sa kompetensya sa negosyo. Then katong na security official is mahugto siya sa liable to siya sa anti-graft and corrupt practices. So you have elements of the offense. So that the offender is a public officer, and the said officer has neglected or has refused to act without sufficient justification after due demand or request has been made on him, and reasonable time has elapsed from such demand or request without public officer having acted on the matter pending before him. So G, entering on behalf of the government into the any contract or transaction manifestly or and grossly disadvantageous to same, whether or not a public officer profited or will profit thereby. They have an elements. So the elements and above provisions are: first is that the accused is a public officer, and that he entered ay kaduha, that he entered into the contract or transaction on behalf of the government, and that such contract or transaction is grossly and manifestly disadvantageous to the government. So
hello everyone, I am Norel Imperial. I'm going to discuss the approving or granting any license, permit, privilege, or benefit in favor of any person not qualified for or not legally entitled to such license, permit, privilege, or advantage, or of a mere representative or dummy of one who is not so qualified or entitled. So these are the elements of the above provision. The following are the elements of constitute violation: that the offended party is a public officer. So ang kanang nagbuhat sa kanang permit or license is head siya sa kumpanya or naa siya'y friend dito nga nagtrabaho, so nabuhatan siya. So second, that he knowingly approve or grant license, permit, privilege, or benefit in favor of any person. So ang nagbuhat kay iya sigurong gibayaran para mabuhatan siya, or ang kaning nagbuhat sa kaning permit or license is iyahang pamilya. So third is that such person granted a license, permit, or privilege is not qualified for or not legally entitled to such license, permit, or privilege, or he permitted a dummy who is a representative of one who is qualified or entitled. So ang gibuhat niya kay naghimo siya og dummy nga permit or lisensya para pamatuod nga na siya ipakita. Kung dili man gani siya naghimo, nagpabuhat siya sa laing tao. So next is divulging valuable information of a confidential character acquired by his office or by him on account of his official position to an authorized person, or releasing such information in advance of its authorized release date. So these are the elements: that the offended party is a public officer. So nakaibaw siya or naka-divulge siya og kanang information tungod kay sa katong company na siya siguro friend or relatives, so nakakuha siya og idea or information. So second is that he has a valuable information of a confidential character acquired by him by reason of his office or by him on account of his official position. So naa na siya impormasyon daan nga confidential siya, pero ang kani siya nga confidential is connected sa ilahang trabaho or sa ilahang posisyon as a worker. So third is that he has divulged such valuable information to an unauthorized person or release such information in advance of its authorized release date. So naka-divulge siya sa kanina information tungod sa gikan ni siya sa laing tao. bisag dili pa siya ang i-release ni siyang information, so nakaibaw siya in advance tungod kay nangutana siya sa lain tao, nangutana siya sa iyahang katrabaho siguro, or depende sa nakaibaw sa information.
Good day everyone, I am Prince Mark A. Quizon and I'm here to discuss about Chapter 15, the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices, Point B and C of Corrupt Practices of Public Officers. So let's start with Point B. Directly or indirectly requesting or receiving any gift, present, share, percentage, or benefit for himself or for any other person in connection with any contract or transaction between the government and any other part, wherein the public officer in his official capacity has to intervene under the law. In short, Section B means that the public officer directly or indirectly requests for any monetary value or gifts from a private person in favor of the private person, that the public officer will do something that will benefit the private person under his official capacity. So the acts punished are demanding or requesting, receiving, demanding, requesting, and receiving any gift. So if the public officer is to demand or request, he or she will be punished under this section. If the public officer receives, even though he does not demand or request, he or she will still be punished under this section. So what are the elements under this section? So to be convicted of violation of Section 3B of RA number 3019, the prosecution has the burden of proving the following elements. So the following elements are: number 1, that the offender should be a public officer. Number 2, who requested or received a gift, a present, share, a percentage, or benefit. Number 3, on behalf of the offender or any other person. It means that, on number 3, it means that even though the public officer does not directly benefit from it, as long as he receives some form of a gift on behalf of any other offender, he or she will still be punished under this section. Number 4, in connection with a contract or transaction with the government. Number 5, in which the public officer in an official capacity under the law has the right to intervene. So let's proceed to section C. C, directly or indirectly request or receive any gift, present, or other pecuniary or material benefit for himself or for another from any person for whom the public officer in any manner or capacity has secured or obtained or will secure or obtain any government permit or license in consideration for the help given or to be given without prejudice to Section 13 of this Act. In short, this section means that the public officer will directly or indirectly request or receive any gift in which he or she will help the private person who will give him or her the benefits. He or the public officer shall obtain a government permit or license for this private person, in which this private person does not need or will not participate in the prerequisites or the official legal steps in order to gain this permit or license. The public officer will fix it for this private person. So in short, mga fixers kasagaran ng naani nga section. So what are the elements? Based on the foregoing, the elements of the offense charged are as follows. Number 1, the offender is a public officer. Number 2, he has secured or obtained or would secure or obtain for a person any permit or license. So number 2, it does not mean that the public officer, upon receiving these gifts, will suddenly or directly give the permit. The public officer may delay the giving of the permit or license, but he or she will still be punished. Number 3, he directly or indirectly requested or received from said any person any gift, present, or other pecuniary or material benefit for himself or for another. And number 4, he requested or received the gift, present, or other pecuniary or material benefit in consideration for the help given or to be given. So that's all for me, and thank you for listening and have a good day.
So for letter H, directly or indirectly having financial or pecuniary interest in any business, contract, or transaction in connection with which he intervenes or takes part in his official capacity, or in which he is prohibited by the Constitution or by any law from having any interest. So these essential elements of violation of said provision are the accused is a public officer, he has direct or indirect financial or pecuniary interest in any business, contract, or transaction. The third one is he either intervenes or takes part in his official capacity and connection with such interest by any constitution or by law. So modes of committing his offense. So there are two modes by which a public officer who has direct or indirect financial or pecuniary interest in any business, contract, or transaction may violate Section 3 of RA number 3019. So the first mode is when the public officer intervenes or take parts in his official capacity in connection while his financial or pecuniary interest in only business. And the second mode is when he is prohibited from having such an interest by the Constitution or by law.
Good day everyone, so I am Raymond Anyong, and now I'm going to explain the topic that I have assigned today, which is the statement of asset, liabilities, and net worth. So it is under the Republic Act 3019, which also known as the Anti-Corrupt Practice Act. So the objectives of statement of asset, liabilities, and net worth is to enjoin all public officers and employees to declare and submit annual a true, detailed, and sworn statement of their asset, liabilities, and net worth, including disclosure business, interest, and financial connection, and to declare to the best of their knowledge who are in the government service. So what are the purpose of statement of asset, liabilities? So the purpose is that all public official and employee are mandated to file a SALN, are the means to achieve accountability of all public officers and employee in the government service. So the question is, why is it required for a government official and employee to file a statement of asset and liabilities? So it is an instrument of transparency and a tracker accumulation of wealth of the government official and employee, and it is a form where government official and employee are required to reflect all their assets, both real personal as well as their liabilities, to determine how much they accumulated wealth while they in the government service. Now I'm going to explain the definition of terms: what is asset, what is liabilities, and what is net worth. So what is asset and liabilities? Asset are the items your company owns that can provide economic benefit, while liabilities are what you owe other parties. In short, asset put money in your pocket, while liabilities takes money out. And what is net worth? Net worth is the value of asset minus to the total of all liabilities. Net worth is what is owned minus what is owed. This net worth calculator can determine your net worth. So what are the example of asset and liabilities? Example of liabilities are accounts payable, accrued expenses, wage payable, and tax payable. And the example of personal asset is cash and cash equivalent, certificate of deposit, checking, saving accounts, money market accounts, treasury bills, and property or land, and any structure that is permanently attached to it. And next reporter, please.
Number 1379. A public official has been found to have acquired during his incumbency, whether in his name or in the name of the other person, an amount of property and or money manifestly out of proportion to his salary and to his other lawful income. That fact shall be in a ground for dismissal or removal. Properties in the name of the spouse and unmarried children of such public official may be taken into consideration. Statement of assets, liabilities, and net worth, or SALN. All public officials and employees are mandated to file SALN are the means to achieve the policy of accountability of all public officers and employees in the government. Section 8 above speaks of unlawful acquisition of wealth, the evil sought to be suppressed and avoided, and Section 7, which mandates full disclosure of wealth in the SALN, is a means of preventing said evil and is aimed particularly at curtailing and minimizing the opportunities for officials' corruption and maintaining a standard of honesty in public service.
Si Optimum Pride! Puking inang yan, Optimum Pride. Babe, si Optimum Pride, do.
So good morning, ma'am. My name is Remedios Montalban. So my topic is inquiry into legal acquired property extend to the cases where such property is concealed by being held or recorded into the name of the person. Illegally acquired, which means property nga nakapangalan sa dili tinuod na tag-iya nga dapat pagkupot ana kay tinuod nga tag-iya kundi ipamana sa tinuod niyang asawa, anak, or mga kaliwat. It's all about ownership. That's all.